Hello sim racers and welcome Friday live stream, and tonight we're going to try again the BMW M2 CS Racing. We have been invited by Positive Perception League, which is hosted, by the way, by the SimGrid. I want to make a little bit of a big thank you to the SimGrid. It has been one of the most amazing and big communities, and probably the first big community for Assetto Corsa Competizione, always supporting, always taking care about everything. And I'm a little bit sorry because I think I haven't talked about them a lot, and it pays to remember them and remember to you guys that they always have a ton of championships and leagues, either made by them or supporting external leagues. If you haven't, you should visit them and try some of the races. I think also today David Perel, because the SimGrid is made and founded by David Perel, the real life Ferrari GT3 driver, has just announced today a beta for a new feature. I don't remember the name exactly, but actually it permits you, if also the league accepts, to go and join any race of any league without participating through the whole league. So you can do that at the SimGrid, and it's pretty cool. So by all means, go and visit and join. That said, as we said, we are back online practicing at Silverstone with the BMW M2, and as you have seen from the title of the video by now, I am considering to name the BMW M2 the best school car for trail braking. And why is that? Well, it doesn't have practically brake bias. You cannot play much with the setup or stuff like that, and it has the tendency to understeer a lot, especially at the turn-in. Now, everybody would, see that the car understeer a lot in turn-in, will jump into the setup, start changing values at random or not, in order to make the car rotate more and more and more. And I say, don't do it, or at least do it, but up to a point. Keep the car understeery, and it is the best school you can go and try and practice your brake modulation. If you are not able to make the car steer by gently applying the brakes at the turn-in, then you should improve your technique. There's no other way around. If you understeer the turn-in with the BMW M2, nothing can save you. You can and get better if you manage to do a good turn-in with the BMW M2. That means that your trail braking technique is getting better and better and better. And we will talk about this even more during the practice session today. And we will also demonstrate it and showcase what we mean by that. So I truly believe that the BMW M2 really deserves the best car school for trail braking. Alright, so let's have a look at what's going on the chat, and at the same time trying to check the server and connect and do some practice, right? So how you guys doing? Namaste. It's a view that you can park it everywhere. Okay, so let's find positive, I think, perception. Yeah, 4 servers and TCX. Here we are. Let's go in game and let's connect. All right. I think we need to. As usual, guys, Minimi is here. All the information, the description of the channel. Oh, it rains. Should we try in rain? Just, to start with, and then we'll see if the other guys, because I think tonight the other guys from the league will join up and do some extra practice. So maybe we could try a little bit of a rain practice initially and see what's going on. Charlie says, so conversely, Porsche Cup is the best for learning throttle oversteer. Even more than that, it's probably the best to learn turn-in oversteer, how to control it. The indicators, John, are modeled so that Gop can use them and go crash on every turn while he's using them. um, Jürgen says, thank you, the new Mercedes Evo is my new car. Oh, that's great. Very glad to hear that. I think more and more people are trying the new Mercedes, and hopefully it will get even better with the DLC of the new GT3 cars later this year. Hello, Haro. Yeah, the Porsche car has, as you know, being a Porsche, has very good traction. So if you are decently careful to what you're doing with the accelerator, it should just, grab and push forward. All right. You know what? Let's try the setup we did the last time and change, of course, the pressures and everything. And see what is going to happen with wet tires on the same setup. Too much camber, so that can be a little bit worrisome, but we'll see if it works. Alright, so temperatures are okay, but it is very wet, so I will go up to 29.2. And oh my god, what was it? I don't remember. Let's load it again. Okay, so 29.2. And 30.1. Come on. And 30.2. I think it's too much, but we'll see. And 31, yeah, it's definitely too much. So let's go down to 30. Let's go down to 29.2 here. And 28.2. And 29.1. So that will give me one full PSI or a little bit more while the wet tires are going to heat up. It might be too much already, so we might go down even more. Yes, Thanasi. Okay, so let's go. Let's drive a little bit, see where we are at. Lights are up, windscreen is on. Χριστόφορ, ωραία Χριστόφορ, για να δω τι λες από το ναύπλιο κιόλας. Ωραία πόλη. Έφυγα τελείως. Καλώς το. Emilio, pressures are one of the most important things into a racing car, and actually also into a street car if you're doing track days. And you want your pressures to be equal when they are hot. So that means you go out on the track, you do 2-3 laps, the tires are getting hotter because they scrub around, right? And while they're getting hotter, obviously the air that it is inside the tires it also gets hotter, and so it expands. And by expanding, you get more pressure into the tires, hot pressure. Now, the hot pressure, you want it to be equal all around in all 4 tires, so that your car is balanced, okay? And you also have the best possible grip through all the 4 tires. So that means that in order to achieve the same pressure on the hot tires, you need to start with asymmetrical tires, not equal tires, cold. So what you are, because obviously you have more turns towards one side and less turns towards the other side. So that is why we start with different pressures all around, and we do a couple of laps and check out and see, okay, after 3 or 4 laps, are hot pressures correct or not? And if not, we change again until all the pressures are correct. Now, while I was explaining to Emilio all that stuff, I forgot to change the tires and I went out with the slicks. That's why the car was sliding all around everywhere. So we go back in again, change to wet tires, and possibly we will stay on the road now. Isn't ABS a bit too efficient in ACC? Yes and no. Yes and no. I'll tell you in a minute, Aris.Drives. Emilio, I have specific videos about that. You might want to check the first of the various steps to make a custom setup. Into the very first video about how to make a custom setup, I do explain everything there is to know about pressures. So have a look at that, and you know, you're gonna find all the explanations. Abby says rear weight cars require more rear camber. Well, they have more weight at the rear, and so while you're braking, the rear tires have more grip than, you know, a car that has more weight at the front. The ABS and traction control as well are efficient in assetto corsa competizione, but relying completely on them doesn't make you faster. You have to learn how to, you know, to rely on them, how to judge how much you have to work with it and how much you have to apply. As a matter of fact, if you are relying too much on the ABS during turn-in, you're gonna, you know, end up understeering, wide, or simply be slower. So you really need to be careful and find the correct level of ABS, and also, even if you find the correct level, you need to understand how to apply it, both ABS and traction control. Is it too efficient? Not exactly. If you see the things that they're doing in real life with traction control and ABS, you know, all the performance nowadays in GT3 cars, actually the extra performance, comes from electronics. So they work really hard to make the electronics better, because, you know, the downforce, the aerodynamics are what they are. The weight, it's not that you can go too low, because, I mean, it's going to BOP you anyway. The engine, again, it's heavily BOP, and pretty much all the cars have similar horsepower and torque. So all the extra performance comes from the electronics, and they work really hard to make the electronics work better. So yes, they are efficient. Yes, they're simulated quite well, and you can even you know, listen to the drivers tell you that, you know, they heavily rely on the ABS or the initial part of the braking, not on the turn-in. Absolutely not. Could it be better? Absolutely yes, because we're talking about, you know, very complex things. So, and by better I mean not more efficient. By better I mean more realistic, which might also be worse and less efficient in some occasions. So could it be more realistic? Probably yes. How to do it, as soon as I know, I will let you know. But then again, you know, you have sometimes that brings to my mind some of the comments that I see around, that you have sometimes people complaining, oh, I switched from one level to the ABS to the other, and there is too much gap, and the game is broken, or the ABS or the traction control is broken on that car, on this car, because I cannot put it to the level that I want. Which is actually, you know, what we're trying to simulate, that not always you will find the correct value of the ABS, and not always all the levels available will work for you in a specific car track combination and ambient combination. But, you know, people then will complain that, oh, the game is broken. So, you know, it gives you a little bit of an idea of what is happening out there. Should you always trust the devs and the simulators by, oh yes, this is the maximum we can do? No, absolutely not. It is the maximum that the devs can do in this specific time this specific moment of time and knowledge. So this is the maximum we can do with what we know and what we believe that the electronic system should do. Should we, improve it and make it better someday in the future? Absolutely. We try for it. We try as usual. How to do it? We don't know yet. As soon as we know, we will try to implement it. This is pretty much the situation. Hope that answer is good for you. Gabriel Botamiata, my man. Well done. Now you know the answer. And actually, you don't even know the answer. You will know it after a year, so how cool it is. But, stay careful. It's a great school car, fantastic car. Needs the correct amount of, brains. It's slow, but it is extremely neutral, so... Yes, of course ACC uses real-world data, but the Flash, I don't know if you're trolling or or not. You might know that the ABS and the traction control have a single computer inside the car, an ECU, that controls the electronics. We are trying to do the whole simulation while show you fantastic graphics, best industry class sounds, AI, multiplayer, and I won't say best, but one of the best in the industry simulation, physics simulation, all in one consumer computer. So we try as hard as we can, and of course, with all the data that we have on hand. Electronics is one of these sensitive data that not all consumers are willing to tell you. You get information, you get some stuff, but obviously they will not give you the whole program with the whole chip in order to check it and reverse engineering. So sometimes you always have to reverse engineer and find out from the engineers or the drivers or telemetry and see what you can do and how you can improve. Oh, there is tons of stuff, not only lateral grip, also yaw acceleration, longitudinal grip, how the engine cuts in two ways, from ignition or from advance of the ignition. So there are tons and tons of things simulated into the electronic system in ACC, as well as trying to simulate the problems that real, systems have, like lag or not understanding always how much sleep there is, because in the simulation we know exactly how sleep we have. In real life they don't. They try to understand what is going on and how much sleep is generated, but they cannot be certain 100% of what is going on. Absolutely, as much real data as we can. There's nothing invented here, but there will always be some data that you don't know, or even the manufacturer doesn't know, or even the tire manufacturer doesn't know. So on those areas, dark areas, is where the magic happens, where you are trying to move the performance towards one on the other side. When a car is made, we don't know everything there is to it, and we also sometimes, the manufacturers as well, don't measure everything there is to it. They don't have to, because it is what it is. Even the tires, for example, is not a complete science. We don't know exactly what kind of materials and what kind of construction we have to do to the tire to make it work. There's a lot of trial and error in real life testing as well. Also, we might know what happens from zero to the peak, but we don't know exactly what happens in between, or more importantly, over the peak, which is one of the areas that there's still a lot to be learned and understand how it works. And on top of that, you have temperatures, tire wear, stress, mechanical stress. There's so much stuff. So yeah. So pressures are a little bit too high and a little bit all over the place. Hey, hi guys.
Well done, mate. This has been your personal best.
Let's try to do one more lap. All right, so let's check. Do we have certain internal validations? Well, yes. We're starting from the main, most simple things like, okay, these cars do 0 to 100, 0 to 200 X time, you know, which is simple to validate. Even for race car, you get some telemetry and you measure, if not 0, you measure probably some like, 60 to 200, and you see how the acceleration is. We have tools to check exactly how much downforce it does, how much drag it has, and we compare that to the actual data that we have from the manufacturer. We know how much G should do in a turn, in what aerodynamic condition, and how much G in the braking. So we try with the most basic data initially, which are also very easy to control and verify. Those are certainly relatively easy to, to validate and see where we are at. And then once you have those, you already be able to do lap times that are close to reality. Then this is where the difficult part starts, where you you have to check how you arrive on those lap times, how the car compares and behaves during one kind of lap and another, depending on the setup, if it reacts properly to the setup, and so on and so on. So there are a lot of things you can do. You take your telemetry, you compare it to the real thing, you talk to the engineers, you talk to the real drivers, tons of things. And also, very important is all the experience you accumulate during all those years of development, because by experiencing, by accumulating experience, you get to a point where okay, my suspension model works well because I have tried it to 200 cars and it always gave me the correct result. So, whoops, that's bad. Wait, what happened? So, good on that. We know that the suspension works well. The aerodynamic model works well. We also know that we have a limitation and we have an idea how to improve it. We improve it in a later development of the physics engine. Same for the tires and so on. So as you saw, through all those years, we kept on evolving and improving our physics engine. Sometimes you do some improvements and other bugs come and appear, and then you have to fix that, and so on and so on. So it's a very complex thing. You have like the HP and torque curve as well. Well, this is one of the easiest things to get and to simulate. That's nothing. Altrag, if you turn traction control off while the traction control is enabled, then it sticks like that and doesn't let you go. It's a bug feature that we let there on purpose, because it doesn't permit on people to switch traction control on and off during the turns, which is also something that in real life you shouldn't do, and engineers would not be happy about it. So what you did is probably you were making the turn, the traction control was engaging, you switch it off, it stuck itself into switch off, and it doesn't let you accelerate. So you have to pull off your foot from the accelerator pedal, switch on the traction control again, switch it off, and then it should work again properly. Alright, so 32. Oh, that's too much. So let's go down by at least 2 here. 26.2. And 2 here as well, and a little bit more. So 27.1 and 1, 27.1. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we go down here again by 2, so 27.2, and then 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here we go down by 3, so 27. Okay, that should be better. Never-ending process, yes. How do we decide which physics feature to add to the sim? It's almost, I mean, it's not a precise selection. If we have data and we get to know something new about it, then, you know, we will see if we can implement it and go through and implement it. So new data means, okay, let's read about it, see what happens. If we get a car that has a specific feature that we don't simulate, then we go to analyze that feature, understand how it works, implement it. So again, look at this new car, it has an active diff, let's see how we can implement that, study a little bit how it works, study how it works, and try to implement it, control it, it works, fine, let's go. We have a bug, okay, why the bug is happening, why the exploit is happening, you know? Yasu Nico, Yasu I5 why the exploit is happening. We go in there and we try to understand. Sometimes there's just a bug we can fix. Sometimes it takes a complete rethink of some parts of the physics, or find out new characteristic of the physics, which is a lot of, you know, head scratch on how they work some things. And so we try to see if we can implement something new and eliminate the exploit by result, not by, okay, let's go. So when we have an exploit, we try to not work around it, because it will bring you into a situation that it will give you only problems in the future. You know, when we have an exploit, we just keep on putting the data that we know that it should work, and by trying to understand what is going on and why the exploit works, at some point you find the solution, and your data that are true and are already in there show you that, okay, we fixed the exploit in the physics, and now the data works even better. So that's how we implement new features in the physics. Porsche, not exactly. I mean, the code is there, but we haven't implemented and expanded the code as much to overheat the engine from following cars too closely. Those cars are also extremely good in terms of managing heat and so on. So it does happen sometimes, but it's rare, and it happens in very, very long races. So we didn't think it was priority. We had more important things to do about it. It is something that I'm interested on, especially with dirt and everything, but for now it's secondary priority. Hey, Gravity Seeds, thank you, buddy. Thank you so much, buddy. I really appreciate it. We try our best. I mean, it's passion. We love that. Thank you, Abin. Appreciate that you like the answer. All right, so we have also one guy here. Let's say hi, hello, hi, howdy, and let's go out and have a look with the new pressures if it is better. ABC, yeah, try again. I didn't saw your question. TC1 and 2 are explained as when and how much to cut. This is also for Audi. Audi is a little bit different. It's lateral and longitudinal TC. Since our TC can have, you know, inputs for various things, we can. Hello, Jamie. We can try to simulate at best what we do. I think the new Ferrari has 3 traction control, something like that, so we have to understand what the heck is going on there. But I also have to say that Ferrari recently gave us some incredible amount of data for the new 296, which seems to be a heck of a machine. Oh my god, it seems to be so... it's almost a prototype in terms of what you know, performance values it can get out. Dear God. Let's go up to traction control 2 and see if it improves a little bit. I mean, 1 is very enjoyable and everything, but maybe a little bit too low for the conditions. It does work a lot. Yeah, the 2960, it's such a beautiful car. Γεια σου Γιάννη, καλησπέρα. Τι brake bias προτιμούν στην πραγματικότητα? Κοντάει λίγο πιο πίσω από αυτό που έχει συνήθως στο aggressive. Now, some of the traction control are more difficult to understand, especially traction control 2. So you can't get into lots of placebo. Can I tell you with certainty that this is how they do it in real life? Absolutely not, especially for the more advanced systems. There is secrecy on that, and we try to understand from the engineers and the drivers. They will also try to keep it tight. So I cannot tell you that, yes, absolutely, this is it. We can do some hypotheses, see some stuff on the telemetry and see, you know, okay, maybe this is happening. We try to implement. Do we implement it correctly? I have lots of doubts. But in the full scheme of the things, I think the end result is not bad. And I'm more worried for other things to bring the simulation closer than the absolute 100% correct simulation of the traction control, because I remind you guys that we know exactly when the tire slides from the equations, and they don't. So what they try to do, the complexity of their software, is to find out how much the tire slides and slips and take care of it, and deal also with the frequencies of the engine and the drivetrain and so on. We can be much more precise on that, so whatever we lose in terms of complexity of the software, we gain it back in terms of reaction times and precision of where the slide arrives. Actually, we have to make the traction control and ABS system worse than what we could possibly do, because they would be much too perfect, let's say, inside the simulator, because we know exactly from the equations what the tires are doing. Much better pressures and much more stable car as well. Also, traction control 2 keeps the car very stable. Yeah, also the Porsche, I'm really curious to see. How many cars you can expect in the well, I think it's the Ferrari, the Porsche, probably the Lambo, and the Evolution, which is not a different name, it's the same car, but we get the extra out of the Evolution Mercedes car, which is even a step forward of that. So those are the cars, I believe.
The fastest step so far.
Braking on the curb, always exciting. The car is nice now. The correct pressures and the correct traction control, quite well. I look forward to all of them. I mean, yeah, the Fezza is very nice, you know, very beautiful. but I'm also curious to see what technically the Porsche will achieve, considering that all of those cars will also run where the old GTE category was, and considering that the Porsche cannot run anymore the incredible RSR on the GTE category, it means that, you know, the new GT3 must be a heck of a car to you know, to have similar performance and be competitive into this category of IMSA and stuff like that. Okay, I don't know, mate. I don't talk about future plans, except the ones that they are already announced. Other plans only on the official channels, because many agreements and contracts and legal stuff has to be made in order to announce something. So we don't say anything until an official announcement has been done. So I don't know what to tell you, and even if I knew, I wouldn't be able to tell you. Let's also try ABS2 to see what's... Yeah, RSR was one of my favorite cars when it was announced, and when I saw it the first time I was like, oh my, so beautiful, and the sound of it, incredible stuff. But also the lines, it was so, I don't know, the proportions were fantastic. Close the rear brake by 1. What do you mean? Ah, the ducts. Well, yes, possibly yes, but I'm trying to check this setup as if it was, you know, dry setup and then the rain, I mean the dry track, and then the rain comes in. Yeah, definitely if you are going to do a full wet track, wet setup, sorry, it is a very good advice to play with the ducts in order to keep both the brakes hotter and also help the tires to build more temperature, because obviously the tires in the rain, they're getting very cold, and you can bring more temperature to the tires and keep them hotter, and thus, you know, make them work better. So this is something that definitely you can do. But what I'm dealing with here is, okay, I took my dry setup and see how it works if I get a surprise wet conditions during the race. So I was telling you guys, and the actual title of the video is that the BMW M2 might be the best car to learn trail braking. Now, why is that? I mean, there are tons of cars inside the Assetto Corsa. Why the M2? Well, the fact that you cannot change the brake bias and you don't have tons of setup changes, and the car is heavy and very front way heavy, means that either you learn to brake or you're gonna have understeer and you're gonna end up wide. So it is a very clear indication to you if you're doing things correctly or not, starting by the knowledge that it is possible to brake properly with this car and it is possible to rotate it through the turn-in. Alright? So that means that if at every braking point and turning in of the circuit with the BMW, you keep on going wide like this, then you need to improve your braking technique, your trail braking technique, which means that you need to modulate better. You need to modulate a lot and be very gentle on the braking during the turn-in. You need to release the brakes at the correct time, and so on and so on. It means that, disregarding lap times, okay, you can get the M2 and just try to nail every turning in of the car. If the car over-rotates too much, then something is wrong. If the car goes understeer and goes straight, then again, too much pressure on the brakes. You go back, you do another lap, and next time you just try to release the brakes and do it properly. So by doing that and just, you know, practicing, okay, how should I modulate the brake pressure with my feet on the brake pedal, I believe you have a fantastic school to learn to trail brake. That turn where we are arriving right now at Silverstone, the penultimate turn, is fantastic to learn to trail brake. So you need to start braking at the correct point, and then look, modulating, releasing, and the car goes in. A little bit too wide, so not correct. Again here, you see, rotate the car, go in again. So experiment, try more and more and more stuff, see what works, and that's the first step. The first step is what works, okay? If I always go straight, then start doing something different, start releasing the brakes sooner, or start braking a little bit sooner, you see? So experiment with it. When it happens and you nail the braking, try to understand why that happened, what did you do, and then try to repeat it. In my opinion, cars like this that are problematic, actually, okay, is what it's going to make you learn to be better as a driver, because it's not that you can improve the car to be better in turn-in. That's it. That's the problem with the car, is the turn-in. It's front heavy, you cannot change the brake bias, you cannot do many stuff on the setup, so just stick to the aggressive setup and try and see with your inputs, can you improve the turn-in? Every single time you go straight, do another lap, arrive at the same turn, try something different. This is the way you can understand and find out different techniques and how they work. It's a clear indication of I'm doing something wrong or I'm doing something right, you know? With GT3 cars, you can do so many things with the setup, the brake bias, the traction control, the ABS, the right here, the downforce, everything, okay? So you can get the car to do things for you that you don't know how to do. And the car will protect you, and the car will, you know, help you out. With this car here, either you do it correctly or you're gonna get, you know, understeer. So it is an amazing school to learn and get better. You don't even have to, you know, go into race or online or whatever. You just pick the M2. I mean, make a couple of days during the month that you say, you know what, I'm gonna get the M2, I'm gonna go to a track, and I'm just gonna learn how to brake. So you release here, go inside, that's how you do it. Just experiment. No problems. Oh, the track time is too slow, I'm too fast, I'm average. Doesn't matter. Just go into a short track where you can do the same, you know, turn lap after lap, and experiment and try again and try different things on and on and on. And that will learn you new techniques. It's very cool, and I think it's very, very useful. Hello, Ignacio. When I go over there with all the wheels, then I get a slide to the outside, so I don't have to do that. Ciao, Alice. Okay, it's time to go to the pits, have a look at the tires, and maybe we can also try to do a more dedicated rain setup. So this is an okay setup for for dry conditions that become wet. So let's save it like I mean, it works kinda, at least the pressures. 26. Yeah, come on, Aris. And we call that dry to wet. Okay, we'll call it like this so we have an idea what we're doing. Now, let's see if we can do a different, a more wet setup. And let's see also on the chat what's going on. Hey, David, how you doing? David, which one? Because I think that James has done a lot of comparisons of ACC IRL, which were also actually pretty nice, and I think he was pretty happy. I think a couple of things that he doesn't like so well, so I hope that in the future I will be able to, you know, satisfy him even more. But which one? Did he do the recent one? The recent one? No, I'm not aware. If you mean 1 month or a couple of weeks ago, I haven't seen anything, so I have to double check that. Oh, posted today? No, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that. Is he very critical? I'm afraid now. Was it too bad? Same stuff is good, which means that I know, and I'm very confident that the next improvements will make him happier. So okay, what to do? Well, we could. So for example, this is the temperatures at the rear. They are quite low, 50. I would like the temperatures to go higher to around 60, 65. So, as another guy said, Mario Kart has better. He disliked the curbs and bumps. Okay. Yes, I'll take that criticism. And I'm also optimistic about it. Hello, Boots. Hello, Reverend. Pay cut. That's on. Optimal temp working. For the dry tires, you are somewhere from 70 something to 95 something. Okay, this is the optimal. For wet tires, it's a little bit lower, so you're like 30, 40, 40, I think, something. But it's a little bit more picky, so somewhere around, I think somewhere around 50 to 60, 70 is for the wet tires. It's not exactly picky. It's even more wide, but there is the belly is wider, but there is a smaller amount where it's at 100%, let's say, something like that. So let's go down here to 3. You can even try go down to 2 and see what happens. And obviously, if we go down to 2, it means that the rear tires will going up in temperature, which means the pressure will go up. So we need to lower the rear pressure. By how much? Honestly, I don't remember. So let's go down by 5, 0.5, and hope for the best. And 5 here, like that. Okay. I will try to put a little bit less camber at the front. Let's see if that improves for the wet tires. Something like this. Maybe because you have McPherson, I think, at the front, I'm gonna lose camber, so let's raise it a little bit. Um, Wherever and go tell the manufacturers if they don't make new cars, we cannot make them. uh, okay. Mm. There are no smells in ACC. Can I fix that? So much we can talk about that. In terms of jokes, of course. GT2s are a different DLC. Alright, let's go back. Adjustable side mirrors. I don't see it happening for ACC at least. Alright, so okay. Let's try out. Let's see what we can do. Dampers. I will lower the dampers here. Maybe it works a little bit better for the you know, for the traction. Maybe. Yeah, we are going to have GT2 in ACC. It has already been announced. If manufacturers and everything agree on releasing the GT2s, that is, but you know. If new GT3 cars only released mid 2022, actually end of 2022. A lot of work on my side to release new DLC for them, say during 2023. The usual, as usual, you know. As usual. John Smith, yeah, with a fantastic comment. Many mini me working on the cars. This gaming, welcome board, guys. As usual, if you like what you see, subscribe, hit a like, helps the channel, support as you can, we appreciate it. Now lower number, softer suspension, lower number, softer, higher number, stiffer. Hello, TV. Oops. Yeah, traction is what it is, so maybe traction control 2 is still the better solution. Woo. We can try higher rear wing and see if it improves, but hey. The second snap oversteer, the most important thing to do in oversteer is the realignment. So the realignment is you really have to be fast, especially the more the car is a racing car with slicks and everything, the more the realignment has to be fast on your hands. You have to be really fast. There's no other way around it. You have to be fast to catch the car in realigning. That is true also in real life, but obviously in a straight car you have more lock, you have straight tires, you have more polar moment of inertia, so everything is slower, but you still have to be very fast. It's one of the most important things to understand in order to catch the counter steer. Setup maybe can help you, but honestly this is all on you. You have to get better on that. Davide, mi fa molto piacere che i ragazzi che fanno la conversione cominciano a risolvere i problemi, così voi ragazzi potete finalmente godere il gioco in pieno. Molto molto piacere. Sento sempre più belle cose dalle console, sono molto contento. Lo so che c'è stato un po' di tempo per risolvere, ma ecco, stiamo arrivando. Ehi Venzi! Hello Octavian! Airwaggy! Guys, our new community manager, 505. Welcome to the channel, buddy. Welcome, Airwaggy. Oversteer. Wonder, am I alone on the server? No. Jamie is here. Deja vu. Yeah, we should switch to dry practice in a minute, but let me see if I can improve a little bit. Also, rear tire pressure seems to be decent. Oh, he's behind me. Let's wait. Let's wait a little bit then. There he is. He's arriving. A BMW with the indicator. Look at that. You've seen it here. Alright, let's play a little bit. Let's see if we can follow. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm trying to not waste any. I've lost it. Bonk.
Got some light damage on the front.
Surely. Yeah, rear engine car even much faster realignment and more precise. Charlie says feels different. I don't know, honestly I don't know what to tell you, but I will tell you that I believe iRacing simulates the Porsche Super Cup, which has Michelin tires, no ABS, so obviously some changes are also on the tires as well. Michelin tires tend to be softer, so it might be more, it might absorbing better, you know. So that might be an indication of why. I believe the sims are getting closer and closer in feeling, because obviously at the end, you know, you try to simulate as good as possible. Ah, he went into the pits. Alright, let's get into the pits. No. Where is he? No, come on. Ah, have to wait one lap. Alright, let's see a little bit the chat here. Shaolin Monk, I have a very nice explanation with the hammer about what the car want to do, the car with rear engine and the car with front engine. Maybe John Smith, as usual, can find out the video with the hammer to explain to you why the rear engine cars need faster reactions and realignments, and why they want to spin, while the front engine cars, the front weight cars, want to go straight and don't need as fast reactions. It's I think it's one of my trademark explanations, and in all modesty, I think it's a very, very good explanation of to understand what the weight bias of the cars do in their handling. Yeah, I've heard that too, Amrit, as well. I mean, it's a good thing to know. The steering wheel in racing cars that have, you know, power steering make the steering wheel quite light. Real drivers and their engineers want the driver to make as low effort as possible in order to be very, very precise. So they are quite light, much lighter than the full or even half the power of direct drive. Much lighter. Thank you, John. Thank you for finding out as usual. Okay, can we follow this time, or are we going to die again? A bit of race practice, it's gonna be good. Is the BMW M6 too inferior? Not really, it's a very good car, lots of power. It's inferior, of course, harder to drive than the M4, but you know, not a bad car at all. Don't die is a good option and solution, absolutely. I agree with this. Yeah, traction control 2 is much easier to deal with. A little bit of the curb to rotate the car over there and over here. Okay, we're getting closer, that's good. Versus M6 versus M4. Whoop, went too wide, and obviously now I can gain on him a lot. See what a bad line over here makes big mistake for all the sequence. Either you do it correctly, or you just done for the rest. Look at that, you see I'm already off the brakes and he was still braking. So he's still applying too much braking because he thinks he's going to go understeer. This is what I was telling you before. Look at this. I'm off the brakes and sooner than him. I can bring more speed inside the turn, and he's having more understeer than me, even though he's going slower, because he is asking from his front tires to do more work. See, he released the brakes soon now. He might be using traction control 1. I see him accelerating very good, but he also has lots of traction if he's using traction control 1, because if I put traction control 1, I'm gonna have big traction problems. See how sooner I released the brakes than him and made the turn. Brake casting is something in real world racing, but not to the amount that sim racers do it. Remember, if you try to do brake and gas at the same time, you cannot be as precise as in sim racing, because the G-forces, you know, do not let you act the pedals with as much precision. It's also bad for mileage, it's also bad for the brakes. I'm trying to understand what exactly is happening to the brakes and the drivetrain when you do that a lot of time. And when I will maybe understand exactly what's going on, I might be able to simulate better and possibly limit this thing. Whoops, went too wide. That's fine. You want to follow me? Oh, okay. The physics behind, you know, putting gas and brake are valid. It does happen. They do it in real life as well. It makes sense. You actually change the brake bias on the fly, you know. So it is okay. It is something you do. But sim racers do it too much. And we need to find out exactly. We have already, you know, they don't do it as much as once upon a time with Grand Prix Legends, for example, or NASCAR 2003. So we have an improvement already, and you can be just as fast without doing it like crazy, which is again a very good thing. We need to also find out and see if we can limit it even more. The research always goes forward, and we try to understand how to improve. Okay, let's go ahead. Make. Oh, that was my turn to mistake here. Oh yeah, going full throttle and full brake, they do that to warm the brakes a lot. But you can just do it, you know, full brake and you warm brakes and tires as well without issues. This is definitely something that they do, except if the engineer for whatever reason tells them, you know, don't do it. Because you might have, I don't know, very new brakes and you might not want to scrub them like this for whatever reason. But braking hard and, you know, accelerating and so on, it is definitely something they will do in real life to heat up tires and brakes. The real MC2 CS wheels. Wheels? What do you mean? Wheels and tires, or steering wheel? How many types of rain? There are not types. There is a continuous variation. We do have some numbers in the options where you select the numbers, not numbers, some names. I think for like light rain, mid rain, monsoon, stuff like that. But in reality, it keeps on varying, and it's never the exact same amount of water, both on track and in precipitation. So. Steering wheel. No, probably the GT3 steering wheel is lighter, but the GT3 steering wheels can also, you know, if the drivers want a little bit different assistance, they can ask and they can have it. Also keep in mind that whatever you have in the M2, that is, but in the GT3 cars you can change the caster, which will also greatly affect the heaviness of the steering wheel. So all rain is blame Andy, right? Ah, too fast. Fast again, but somehow we made it. Hey Jesus, very glad you liked it. Let's see if we can rotate the car and build the curve. Not really, it just blows straight, so we shouldn't do it on the next lap. Oop.
Well done, mate. Personal fastest lap.
Okay, so being too aggressive there doesn't really work. Anyway, not bad, not bad, not great, not bad. We could lower a little bit some stuff here. Would raise maybe this one by 3, and this one like that. And what else we could do? I don't know really. I mean, I should try and see if more camber works or not. Honestly, I'm not too much in the mood. Let's save this as a wet setup. Maybe we could try, you know, wet, and see if it works with more downforce. Yeah, we could do that. So let's go up to 5 and see what happens actually. Hello, Andreas. If I do a full quali lap on wet, nah. I mean, qualifying and Aris are not in the same sentence. Does not work. It's, yeah, it's like that. Hey, David, take care, buddy. Το practice, Γιάννη, το practice είναι από το Championship Positive Perception, οπότε πρέπει να πας να τους βρεις, να δεις αν μπορείς να μπεις, γιατί αν δεν είσαι μέλος στο Discord, αν είσαι στο Discord τους μπορείς να μπεις βέβαια. Too busy moderating. Okay, how can we improve on that? So maybe we could do a bit lower here, and here make everything soft for the, yeah, let's make it soft. And okay, I mean, I will just try it and see what happens. Probably too much understeer in medium to high speed turns, but you never know. It might be even, you know, might be even possible to put traction control to 1. Let's give it a go. Honestly, I was expecting more understeer here, but it's still cold tires, so let's see. Rolling like a sausage. Actually, you know what? I was expecting much worse. Pressures are still a bit low, so we have to wait, but initial reaction is not bad at all. Let's see here what it's going to do. Not bad for traction control 1 and cold tires. A little bit of extra understeer here. That was expected. Yeah. Start to vibrate the front end. Starts to go a little bit wide over there, but nothing crazy, but you can certainly feel it. It starts starting to vibrate on the first feedback, the front end goes into understeer. But the traction is very good. Traction is very good. Line getting drier. I don't think so. It keeps on raining as it was before, so And I mean, I just tried with traction control 1 like 10 minutes ago, and it was a no-go. So I don't think it could have been with one car lapping so much drier than before. So I don't think this is the main reason why it has more traction. Interesting, interesting. See, even when it slid a little bit, I kept it there. It didn't went to a full slide. It's interesting. Yeah. A little bit of understeer here. Yeah, I can see that it's gaining with less traction control. Look at that exit. Nice. Ha. The things you get to learn. Release the brakes. That's nice. Oh, look at the traction. Oh, that's nice. That's gonna be here the big test. Yeah, okay, but it is controllable. Let's see how much we're going to lose here. Okay. Ah, my bad. Bad lines, and still I'm gaining because the car doesn't stop so much from the traction control. Look at that. Curb. Look at that, 1 second lower lap time.
Well done, mate. That's all the best.
Not bad at all. Okay, let's see if we can do this one better. No. Screw it. Interesting. Very interesting. I won't say it's perfect, but that's interesting. Hey, thank you, Jamie. Thanks, buddy. Setup coming up on G-Drive. So, so this is interesting. I'll bit on the edge. Maybe I could use this setup for qualifying or something like that. It is a little bit on the, or I could use that setup with traction control too. So, okay, so let's save this and call it number 3 high downforce IDF wet. So we know what we're doing. Yeah. And all of that is done with 62 liters of fuel, so not bad. Active reset future. No. Honestly, I hate that kind of stuff. I think it's wrong. I think it's not good. I understand why someone wants to implement it. Maybe someday Kunus will implement it as well. I will vote for abstinence or, no, by the way. But I'm not going to go crazy and say, oh my God, don't use it. Oh, it's terrible. For me, it's not good. You should learn the track as it is. But to its own. Notice that some GT3 cars have different pit limit, causing them to be slower, faster than each other through the pits. How they work in reality, or some well, actually this is a feature which became a bug. So we actually model properly the pit limiter. The pit limiter takes into account the actual gear ratio of the first gear and the revs, and tries to stay underneath a certain speed limit, obviously by cutting the engine. Keep in mind that it has to have some space, a larger window, because you get speed limits on the uphill, pit lanes in the uphill, and you get pit lanes in severe downhill like Spa. And you have to have cars that don't go over the pit limit. Now, in real life, the engineers will modify the pit limiter from track to track. We don't have this kind of possibility into the sim. It would have been too much work for too much little of advantage. So some cars with very long gears can be more precise because they have longer gears, so they don't accelerate as much when they cut and let go, and cut and let go, so they can get closer to the pit limiter. Other cars with very short first gears start faster, but they need a little bit wider range, so they keep the pit limiter tiny, like 0.7, 0.8 slower, in order to not go over the pit limiter in the downhill. So it's a bug feature, because it's so realistic, then it ends up to be a little bit of a buggy. But honestly, yeah, on the top levels of esports and everything, oh my god. But honestly, we're talking about 0.2 kilometers per hour. So a couple of cars that had issues, like the Mercedes, we fixed it. So I guess it's not bad. Let me also take. Come on, mouse. Where are you? Oh, yeah, there you are. Let me also put the setup on the G drive. So M2, BMW, Silverstone, wet. Okay, three to go on the BMW CS Racing at Silverstone, and here we go. Plonk. 1, 2, 3, and they are up. So if you guys want to check the setups, you will find them as usual in my shared G drive. If you don't know the link, it's always on the description of the video. So make sure to click there and go into my shared Google Drive and get the setups as I make them. All right. The TC on M2 works different on the GT3. The traction control on the M2 is practically more aggressive street traction control, except the fact that it doesn't also lock the brakes, because they don't let that on the racing. So yeah, it's much less evolved than the GT3 traction control. Yeah, as John Smith said, by the way. GT cars in ACC, no, because we are doing the SRO for Assetto Corsa Competizione. SRO has only GT3, GT4 cars, and so on. So GT is a completely different category. It's IMSA and FIA, nothing to do with us. And by the way, GT cars, no more anymore. So thank you, Max. Thank you, Max. Appreciate it. I don't know, Rafa. As usual, I cannot. Who is that? Meflor? Meflor? Sorry, I didn't read your name. It was too small. But welcome to the channel anyway. Let's have a replay while we'll talk a little bit. It's early. We can, do some extra stuff. Let's also have a look at the together laps. Any possibility to add AI to the multiplayer? No, I don't think so. Rafa, as we said, I mean, I have a deja vu right now. Future plans or whatever, you're not going to learn it from me. Official media only. It's still 2018. Which one? Track Lizard. Hey, Dog Juice. Hi there. Yeah, if the cars are right on your tail, that might happen. Track Lizard, yes, I'm with you, man. Yeah, even though, I mean, yeah. I am going to miss some of the GT cars, yeah, for sure. Max, yes, of course. I mean, if you lock the tires, steering wheel becomes instantly much lighter. So. Mitchell says he's going to hit into Road America in a few weeks. Drooling. So good, so nice. Any tips for autocross 4-wheel drive car in snow ice? What the fuck, man? What are you going to do? I mean, they will clean the track one day. But in any case, I guess if you are going to race in snow ice, I guess you're gonna have proper tires for such situation. Tips for that: modify your lines in order to get as straight exit as possible. That's the best tip I can give you. In order to do that, you will probably want to be able to rotate the car at the entry so that you get with a little bit of drift, and then you just go straight at the exit. So local sections for autocross. Okay, well, good tires is what makes a big difference in such conditions. Proper tires for the job. Proper tires for the job. So try and find the most winter tires you can get. And if it's ice, if you can find also spiked tires, even better. But yeah, that thing is gonna give you seconds. Everything other is gonna give you tenth of a second. How do I split my dev time between the new cars? Let's see if we can get back online. I believe I'm live again. I think, yeah, I'm live. So what's happening lately, it's been happening in the last 2 weeks, I think, at completely random situations. The whole computer switches off, just plonk, switches off. So I guess the power supply is waving me goodbye, because I cannot think of anything else. So yeah, something like that. So I guess it's time to get a new power supply and call it a day, because it doesn't happen often, but I think it has happened in the last 2 weeks. This is the third time probably, or the so one time is okay, something happened. Two times is something is wrong. Three times is no, it's not overheating, because I don't see anything overheating on the temperature. So something is not correct. I believe the power supply is dying, which is a little bit of annoying, because I keep on changing power supplies every 2 years, like so. Yeah, I have cleaned it already, because at the second, at the second power off, I was like, wait a minute. So I didn't saw any overheating, and it was so I said, okay, probably some dirt there, and I opened up everything and cleaned it. But as you can see, we just had another one. So not very happy right now with this. The temperatures are low, nothing seems strange. So and it is random, as you can see. I mean, I've did the whole race, I did everything, and it just went off. So that is strange. That's a little bit of a strange thing. Anyway, what time is it? 11 and 15 minutes past 11. Uh, should we do something extra? I don't know, honestly. I'm a little bit tired, but I will entertain you for at least a half an hour more, and then we'll see. Here we have 60 hertz. It could be that it's not stable, because it's not the best thing here. So yeah. Did I check the pressures? No. PSU staying at the limit. It could be an idea, but it didn't do so for all those years, and now it start doing it. So something is not correct, I guess. I have a UPS which should be helping with the stability. So it does work. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you exactly. It's with the power supply, it's a mystery as usual. So positive. I haven't upgraded the PC at all. It's been like this for a year more. So yeah, I have upgraded the Macintosh over there. I got a Mac Mini, but not the PC. So nothing to do with that. It's 60 hertz on European cables. So 220 60, right? It's not 50. Not so sure about that. Could also be a faulty RAM. Could be, but this kind of randomness and very sporadic randomness, I'm not so sure it's RAM, honestly. I don't know. Yeah, time is flying. Oh, it's 50. All right. Now all Europe six. Make up your minds, guys. Make up your mind. But yeah, anyway, I'll have to check it out. I hope it won't hit me bad during the race. Marbach mi arriva tu diavolo. The devil's machines. Uh, oh my god. Okay, reconnected. Oh, it doesn't work anymore here. So we have to check the. That's interesting. The webcam doesn't work for whatever reason. So the second webcam. So let's see if we can fix that. Anch'io pensavo fosse 50, però 220 50. So webcam here works. Okay, that's good. Webcam here doesn't work. Why is that? Webcam. That works. That that works. Fantastic. We enabled again. Yeah, win. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. Yeah. Um, yeah, faulty RAM usually causes crashes uh, continuously. It's random, but it's continuous. No, every day it keeps on crashing and stuff like that. Hello, Bonakayo. Welcome to the channel, buddy. So yeah, the faulty RAM usually causes continuous crashes. Uh, right now, I had 3 crashes like this, exactly like this, and it wasn't even crash. It just powers down the whole computer. It switches. It's like if you pull the cable. It's like that, and that leads me to believe it's the power supply. As you said, the RAM, the memory crashes. You get a blue screen of death, or you get a reboot, maybe something like that. This is a complete shutdown and then restart. So, yeah, I think it's a power supply. Yeah, yeah, driver's always fine. Yeah, I mean, I could just pull a RAM tester tonight and see what happens, but could be an issue with the wall power socket. But as I said, I have everything connected to the PSU, which stabilizes the current and has a battery, so it should be working properly. And of course, the Mac Mini on the other side, which is on the same PSU, doesn't have an issue. On the other hand, obviously the PC asks for, I don't know, 500 watts, and the Mac Mini is like, yeah, I can live with a little bit of a breeze of air, without issues. So it's not comparable in terms of power requests. So who knows? Who knows? Yes, I have a fuse panel, of course. Yeah. I mean, not even the cars are connected to the power grid right now, so there is no reason for it to go down. The cars are disconnected. Nothing else is running right now in the house, so that's why I believe it's uh, it's the power. Now, 500 watts is what it's asking. The power supply is higher than that, but let's say at maximum, power is what is asking. Actually, it should ask less. You never arrive up to 500 watts. Might get a peak, but it never arrives like that. Yeah, I have a humble 2080 Ti, so yeah. Humble. Yeah. Let's see if the server is still there and if it's still raining. have a couple of hamster. Max.
Light, keep
Oh,
going.
look at that! It's dry. That's nice. Yes, exactly, Channel. The UPS should have gone to battery, and I should have heard the alarm, because when it's going to battery, it's like beep beep. It's going crazy. So I don't think it's that. I definitely don't think it is this thing. I believe it's something from, you know, from the actual power supply of the computer. No, monitors all stay on. So yeah, no problems. What do you want? Racing sounds? Yeah. Yeah. Should we go for a qualifying lap, or at least something, a little bit? 2022, and the dry was 2028, so that's the same. Load this up. We could go for a lower fuel. No, wait, why is wet preset? Wrong. This one. Okay. No, UPS didn't stay in battery because everything else was still on. UPS was working properly, so it wasn't a current from the wall problem. It's just the PC alone switches off, like if you pull the plug, but it switches off alone. Everything else just stays on as usual. Found to support Aris hardware. By Merz. Those might go to Andy.
Low tire pressure, stay away from curbs.
Open wheel cars versus tin top. Tin tops, you mean closed wheel? Always, I'm GT racing, man. I'm not too much on the open wheel cars. Need too fast reaction for me. Too old for that. Too old for that shit. No, definitely not lower those people. Guys, come on. Placebo is so strong with everybody complaining. It's probably even faster to speed, but so to give you a bit of a perspective of what actually happened. So there shouldn't have been any hotfix and BOB adjustment. None. Okay, for the following months. So at some point we found out there was a bit of an error in the championship, in the single player, and the guys managed to fix it, and they were like, the rest of the developers, you know what, we have fixed that, maybe we should do a hotfix. Is there anybody else that wants to add something? So I said, you know what, alright, let me get this opportunity and do some extra testing, a little bit of, balancing there and there, and I won't do anything big because I know that we don't have any other opportunity for a little bit of a time. So let me do a small amount of stuff, very small, and monitor what is happening so that I have more information for the next one to make it better and more, precise. oh my god, the drama of the people. Oh my god, the drama, I can't believe this, I can't believe that, this is slower, this is... And we're talking about nothing, okay? So they now have their new god, which is the guy that is hacking into the files, trying to find out what is going on. Half of the time it gets it right, half of the time it gets it almost right, and whatever it is. And now everything is wrong, you know? So that gives you an idea of who is asking for views and how, you know, the whole sim racing community is getting influenced and starting complaining about things that are so minuscule, first of all, and second of all, they could not even happen, you know, and nobody would have understood what's happening. I mean, instead of saying, okay, that's nice, you took the time and you did something extra in a moment that you shouldn't, no, everything is bad, everything is terrible, and fix everything because everything is broken. So this is actually the situation. That's why sometimes, you know, you see developers and they get it a little bit too personal and they rant a little bit about it, because there is a context behind all of this, and you're like, seriously, come on. I mean, you try to do something for the better, especially forward in the near future, because you know that at some point the bigger update is going to come out, so you want to be ready and prepared and have some extra data, and everybody goes berserk. So patience as usual, both from the community but also from the developer, and keep on doing what you're doing, as they say. Yes, 8 cylinders Aston is still fairly easy.
Personal fastest lap.
So the car is lighter at the rear now because it has less fuel. It becomes a little bit understeady in some situations. And we do a 217. Come on. Let's do everything perfect here. Yeah, too much time here braking. Yeah, 217. Nice. Ah, practice, you see? We're getting better. That's muscle memory building up. And of course lighter car for sure. No, I mean, nice. I like that. I wasn't expecting a 217 already. So we're getting better. There is a possibility that we arrive to the race in a decent, you know, form, so we can at least not make a very bad impression. That was interesting. Nice. Which maps? The ones that, you know, we have. And it wasn't even a perfect lap, so I guess we can do it. I guess right now, if I try a 217 mid, 0.5, is possible. And then with some extra practice, we might be able to do a 217 low. So 220 per lap. You can also have an idea of how much fuel we're gonna need. So let's say 20 minutes of race, 219 for the race, let's say, or 218. How many laps do we do? Yeah, fuel per lap 2.20, and we need 20 liters. So practically for the first race, we're gonna go with something like 24, 25 liters. So that lap time is possible with the race fuel for the first short race, and then we're gonna have the longer race, which is gonna need around 45 liters, something like this. Not bad, Aris. Not bad. Not bad. Mr. Venci feels a slight hesitation between 7,987 and 8,045 RPMs in acceleration. Amazing. Jacobo, thank you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. It's believe me, the pleasure it's all mine. It's something that I need in order to stay close to the community, and I also need, for example, right now I'm doing this, and I do it often because that gives me the opportunity to push a car to my limits. Okay, under a competitive situation, which means that then I can get the same car and with the lap times that I can do in a specific circuit, go into the development build, put my new experimental physics or whatever I'm trying, and make very precise comparisons until I give it, to some real drivers or some beta testers or some whatever, to have extra feedback. But I can also get my own feedback, trying to be as objective as possible, without, falling into the trap of, yeah, I'll do 5 laps. I feel it like this. Fine, let's go and try the new physics. 5 laps again, like this. This is a big trap because, as I have told you many times, guys, the more you push the car, the different the car becomes. So same car, same setup, same track, between two people that push the car differently is a completely different car. It behaves differently. So you need to get to your limit and then understand what to do. 50 kilos, you are going to feel it, for sure. Nice, that wasn't bad. You know what, guys? I'm gonna try something because I don't have exact memory, but I believe that also the initial shutdowns of the computer were made during the replay. So, you know what? Let's have a look at the replay. If you see me going down, we have an indicator of something that is causing a bad thing to the computer. So let's have a look at the replay in the meantime, and have a look at the chat as well. Now, I perfectly understand that people that are fighting at the very top level, the very high level, at any kind of competition, obviously they're gonna feel the slight differences. It makes a lot of difference for them. I understand. But then again, having the whole community, which, those people are the 1%, okay? Then you have the 99% like us, which are like from half a second, 1 second slower to 10 seconds slower, then everybody goes like crazy. And I don't know. Don't get me started again on the user rant. It's something that I hate to do, and I shouldn't be doing it for you as well, because we should be here to have fun and get a couple of hours of good times and learn something out of it and get better. And that's why we're sim racing. Otherwise, any arcade title should be good enough to have fun, and that's it. Sim racing permits you to also get better on something that has some real value as well, even though some people might laugh about that, but they were laughing at us 15 years ago. Now they laugh less and less and less, and the more we go forward and the more sim racing become, I don't mind if it is becoming serious, but it is becoming respected on what we're doing, so it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's entertainment. It's not just for fun. It's also having fun, learning something. Even if you don't get to apply that stuff in real life, you can watch a race on TV or on YouTube and know much more than the average user fan of motorsports. Sim racers know so much more stuff about the races, the drivers, the cars, the strategies, everything, than the normal fan, and usually more than even the speakers, the commentators. So yeah. Thank you, Abid. Information about how many people play only single player in ACC. Super vast majority. Super vast majority. It has been better for online sim racing for sure, but still the vast majority is always playing offline of the users of a simulator, of any other game anyway. So people can think whatever they want, but the whole motorsport industry, I can assure you, has started to shift and think about sim racing in a completely different way, both in terms of marketing presence and also in terms of finding talent, and also in terms of practicing, training, client programs. It's changing, and it's changing very, very fast. I'm seeing things, and I'm talking to people from car manufacturers with an approach so much different than just a year ago, that blows my mind out, and I'm like, oh my god, what is happening? Is this really true? So this is a very, very good thing. It comes with disadvantages, because the damn legal department's taking taking control of everything, which makes our job much, much harder than before. But it also comes with a lot of advantages, and it gets us to talk with some amazing people, engineers, and drivers, and it gets us also to collaborate to make both ways improvements, which is amazing. So yay. I'll tell you what, your fear is valid, okay? It has always been the case, but it's also true that sim racing has been doing so for at least 15 years, if not 20, okay? So back in the days of Grand Prix Legends, VROC was a third-party client lobby server list for Grand Prix Legends. Uh, the people participating in VROC, pretty much we knew each other. Pretty much everybody knew everybody. We were like, 1,000 people, maybe when everything was, but usually we were like 100, 200 people, and everybody knew everybody. Amazing, you know? And obviously nostalgic people and myself sometimes we might think about those days and they were like the golden era and so on and so on. But truth to be told is that sim racing have been growing ever since, constantly and consistently, with new people, new casuals, to the point that we have millions of people buying Assetto Corsa titles. And yet here we are, we're having fun. The same Monza T1 accidents happened back then, the same Monza T1 accident happens now, so it's not only because of the casuals, but because sim racers, it's like that. And because, as I have always said, we are driving dinosaurs that go, extremely fast, and we put them on the limit and we try to squeeze, 10, 20 cars into a small chicane like Monza T1. So accidents will happen for sure. It's it's inevitable, as we say. But even though all of this is happening and sim racing is growing, we still get the same things: the same great races, the same bad races, the same competitiveness. Actually, a bit more competitiveness lately, and the same level of enjoyment, the same level of runs. It's all the same thing. So I understand your fear. It is also my own fear as well sometimes. But in the end, if you think about it, it's not a justified fear. Things just find their way, as we say. Crash Generator says, if most people race offline, why don't you or any sim studio create a decent AI? Well, the AI that you get to race is the best we can do with the knowledge that we have, the tools we have, and the hardware that we have. If nobody else is doing it, then that means that nobody is capable of. That is one part. The other part is the AI is as good as you are good on racing, because you can complain all you want, but many times the AI is much more benevolent and good in accidents and crash situations than the actual humans in multiplayer. And if you're crashing all the time with the AI, then maybe, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking generally, then maybe you should, take it to the chin, as they say, and try to get a little bit better and more respective in racing. Many people, think that, okay, I'm taking the turn, the AI should stop. Well, the AI also follows the same physics, so the braking distances are what they are. The lateral grip is what it is. So, yes, they will do some stupid things, but they will do also things because the user did some stupid things. So, again, I mean, if you disregard all of that, the AI you get is the maximum that the actual level of development is able to do. That is all. Honestly, because I have seen many people and myself can enjoy racing with the AI, if you are crashing all the time with the AI, that means that the problem is not probably on the AI, but it's you, that you don't understand or how the AI races, or you don't know some of the things that you need to race properly. If you are too fast for the AI and you just disappear on the horizon, then congrats again on you. Maybe you should start, trying to race with people, with normal humans. So it's either this or that in the end. Cosas, I don't know about that. Maybe some bug. I have to check. It depends. Again, qualifying is one thing. A race is another. So have a look at the race and see if you can keep up with them on a full stint. If I'm looking forward to see the new GT3 cars in action at Daytona, totally. And it's not the same ballast performance and everything, but boy oh boy do I want to see what those cars are going to do. It's always you always get an indication. I'm really looking forward. Honestly, yes. Tim Stelton, by the way. Hey, hello, Tim. How you doing? Another big name in sim racing scene, both in community side, both in development. You guys, sorry, that's our team. I was thinking about another team, but Tim Stelton is right. I mean, there are sims out there, ours, other sims out there. They have pretty good AI, I believe, to race with. And again, I will repeat, what you see is the best possible AI that our current knowledge and tools and hardware can achieve. That's why you don't see anything else that much better out there. All of them have some pros and cons. It's a short blanket, you know. Replay doesn't make me crash, but we had the replay before and it was going on for quite a bit of time, so I will be wait to see how much time it gets, but yeah, I don't know. Time to swap the hamster. Yes, Max, absolutely. Coming from F1 games, ACC AI is awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that's true. No, I won't say that our sorry guys, I won't say that our AI is good or it is the best or whatever. I would say it's more than decent, but as I told you, all sims have pros and cons on the AI behavior. Nobody is perfect. And truth to be told, if we had a developer that could be, you know, capable of making a perfect AI driving a car, I don't think it would be working for us. It would be probably getting, you know, thousands, if not millions, of euros or dollars per year, working from some big manufacturer or some big tech company on that kind of stuff. So, you know. Channel11 says, on trail braking and initial liftoff, I feel I overshoot and have to get back on the brakes. Is this more me or can brake stiffness setup influence? It is you. Of course, the brake pedal stiffness setup can influence that, but it's mainly you. You have to work into things. First of all, when you think that you're overshooting, release completely the brakes and see, does the car rotate? Play with the steering wheel and see, do you have some extra grip that you're leaving out and haven't taken advantage of? And if you have done both of those things and you're still overshooting, that means that you simply have to start braking 1 meter sooner. You know, you simply arriving way too hot on the turn. So it is of course very, very difficult to understand what exactly is going on, but if you stop and analyze it a little bit, it's three things. either you need to release the brake sooner. So number one, release the brake sooner and see what happens. Two, play with the steering wheel and see if there is some extra lateral grip that you're not taking advantage of. Those two things go together. Okay, so releasing and playing with the steering wheel. And three, if those two doesn't work, number three means that you really coming in too hot, so you need to start braking a tiny bit sooner. So half a meter, 1 meter sooner, see what happens. 1 meter more, see what happens. If you think about it, that's all there is to it. 1, 2, 3. Okay. It's much harder to do than to say, but if you keep on your mind those 2, 3 reasons of what is happening, that will help you to find out the solution to get better at it. Lost some questions from me. That's exactly, of course, also team is correct on that. We take for granted that you brake hard enough initially on the straight. Okay, we're only talking about the last part, so every single sector, analyze it differently. Straight line braking, turning in, apex, exit, and so on. Anyway, guys, it's almost midnight. I think that's it for tonight. We did some wet practice. We did new personal best on the dry with the car, which is pretty cool. I hope we had some fun. We talked about many things. I think it was useful to understand also why the M2 is probably the best car to practice trail braking. And I guess that's it for tonight. See you next time on on the next live stream. Take care, guys. Have a great weekend. See you soon. Good night. Good night. So the power supply goes poof, and then everything goes down, and we lose subscribers and likes and stuff like that. So we need to change the power. No, we are not going to buy more of your clones. That is for the other people. We need to use the money for the power supply. Money. Do you know how you make money? No. So I'll explain to you, but not now. Not now. Now it's not the moment. The clones are for the other people, not for you. That's enough. I'm not going to discuss this for all night. That's it. End of it.